Thank you so much for this opportunity to just be a part of this conference and just being able to be in conversation with parents just to help them, guide them, and model behavior that just requires a community to kind of come together to be able to offer support, tools, and a safe space to just kind of work through what you're doing with your child or whatever milestone you're trying to reach. So I'm very, very excited to share some of the things and strategies that I've used at my center and along the way. But I'm Jessica Nader. I am an owner and operator of a childcare center, Play Smart Learning Center in Palm Bay, Florida. I've been doing this a little over 13 years now, so we're celebrating in March our 13th season. I cater to children ages 6 weeks old all the way to 12 years old, and it's something where I'm able to really have a partnership with parents, the community, my staff, and parents to be able to create this experience where it's a positive first early childhood experience. We don't want to create this whole environment where we're like creating all these Einsteins and hyper-focused children. We just want to create a space where when you're learning and you're getting the fundamental tools of learning and joining the classroom and being in social atmospheres, that this is how we can help guide you in that. So that way, when you go into elementary school, you're successful, you feel confident, and so do parents. I graduated from Florida State University in 2004 with my bachelor's in early childhood education. I have my master's in educational leadership, and I'm really just exactly what I'm saying is a platform for children and families to really find support in helping their children grow. And I've been doing it for, I'm going to give you the better part of now 18 years, though I don't look like it. I just try to challenge myself to have a positive experience with my parents, my family, and my staff members. So that's just a little clinical side of how I arrived in this platform. It's a need. You know, a lot of parents come in and they're like, what do I do when this happens? And I found that parents were doing it just based off of me being in a classroom and their children just adapting to the environment and then being successful. And they're like, how did you get there? How did you get that? How did you do that? How did that happen? Because it's not happening at home. So I think that there was more of a need, and I felt like parents needed a safe space, single, married, same sex, blended family. They just needed support. And I found that parents really found it easy to come up to me and ask questions. So how I got involved was similar to just being raised in the culture, raised in the community. My mom was a teacher. My aunts were social workers. My grandmother was a dietitian. So I really got a lot of information downloaded of just how to have a healthy environment, from food to environment and who we associate with and what kind of environments we put ourselves into. And then how I linked up with King and Jasmine. I went to college with Jasmine, and we just found a way to be, a good blend for each other, good partner. So we definitely kind of fed off of each other. And when we both graduated, we went our separate ways. And King came along after they became a partnership and a business. We wanted to have conversation about sex positive parenting. They asked me a question about their eldest daughter, and it just really opened up a conversation of like, man, we're going to really talk about hygiene for, your 15-year-old. How can you do that? Or how can you help me? So Jasmine came up with the concept of let's come together with her field, her expertise, my field and my expertise. And King brings a very robust energy of just having that masculine energy in the room to be able to have that male perspective of, and now that he's a parent, it just has continued to elevate over the last 10, almost 12 years that we've been talking about this topic. I want them to have the confidence of having tools to use and then actually put it into action. So the follow-up and the takeaway is having a 10-day exposure and to be able to put in, if this is what, like in the beginning of the conference, is like, what brings you to the table? What brings you into this room? And, kind of gauging what their ages are and where they're trying to kind of guide their little person or middle-aged young person. And then being able to charge them to try these unique tools that can then be put into action within a 10-day time frame where it's dedicated, it's consistent, and then build this network where we can have this conversation on a dashboard to be able to ask like follow-up questions like, how did it work out? Or maybe you didn't do day 4, but we go back to day 2. So that way then we're always redirecting and always being consistent with the behavior that we're looking to kind of help your child or help you as a parent walk away with, so you feel empowered to go back to your child and have these questions and build the rapport, so that way then they can want to talk to you more about sex, about relationships, about dynamics that are kind of, some a little, taboo for some families, but opening up that space so that way they can have that dynamic conversation and build that rapport to kind of be able to have a lifetime conversation with their children into adulthood. Just being able to have the conversation, being able to normalize the uncomfortable part of the conversation, and bringing a little bit of humor, bringing a little bit of like grounded energy, so the participants have that neutral energy to want to just give it a try, and actually see it through. So I'm really excited just to be in front of an audience that wants to take on information to guide children and help them grow, so that way they can be, affluent citizens of whatever culture or community they decide to be in.